So guys, as you can see in the title, we're canning tomatoes again. Only this time I'm going to show you a water bath method. And what I did was, before we went on vacation, I had all these tomatoes that were ripe, and I threw them in the freezer. Didn't blanch them, nothing, just threw them in there. And then when they thaw out, I'll show you, the skins just slip right off, just like that. So we're gonna slip all the skins, and I'm gonna do a crushed tomato, very easy crushed tomato. So, and we're gonna can these in quart jars. So it'll keep the space down because I won't need so many jar spaces. And hopefully this will be the last canning session of tomatoes for this year. I think we have enough now after this session to get us through the whole year. So what a blessing the garden has been. So let me bring you in kind of close up so you can see what I'm doing. I'm slipping the skins. So any core end you cut off, any bad spots, make sure you don't use those tomatoes or that part of the tomato. Go ahead and throw it in your pot. That's as easy as this is. Now I'm going to get a little bit better setup going before I continue. So what I like to do is, like this one still has the stem on it. Go ahead and take that off. Slip the skin, and I mean, it's easier than blanching them. In fact, a lot of times I'll go ahead and do it this way just because it's so easy. And these run through the Victorio Strainer. If you want to do it that way, it runs through their lickety-split because they're very soft. And what I'm doing is trying to drain out some of that water. We don't need all that water in there. Just tomato juice, not water. So go ahead and throw them in. And I'll just keep working on these, and as I go along, when I get this all done, I'll bring you back and show you how many we got. Okay guys, I'm ready to jar this up. And so I've had this simmering because I really want the tomatoes cooked. And tomatoes are the one vegetable or fruit that the longer you cook it, the better it is for you. Pressure canning makes them excellent for you. Anyways, this is quick and easy today. So these are going in 1 quart jars. My jars are hot, and you don't really need to debubble because this is more liquid than anything. But you can see the consistency. It's nice and thick, chunky. It's going to be delicious to have this winter. And I want to make sure that I go ahead and fill it to 1 inch of head space. That leaves room for expansion. We've got citric acid here. Now, if you were doing tomatoes and you don't have citric acid, you can use bottled lemon juice because the acidity level is correct. So you need 2 tablespoons for a quart of tomatoes, or a half a teaspoon of citric acid. And please refer to the bulk canning book or another guideline that's approved by the powers that be, if you will. And then I take a napkin, I've got to dip it in vinegar over here, and I'm wiping the rim, and all the while, I've checked all the rims, but I go ahead and give them one last check, just in case I missed a nick or something. And then I've got my lids that are soaking in hot water. I'm going to go ahead and put those on, and I'm super excited, you guys. This is so rewarding to put your garden vegetables or your farmer's market vegetables away in your pantry. And look how beautiful this is. It's absolutely stunning. Ah, so delicious. I've got my canner over here, and the water is warm bath water temperature. Don't have it much more than 180 degrees, or you can take a risk of cracking your jars. We just leave it at that temperature until all the jars are in the canner. And these are going to can, water bath can, for 45 minutes. And what that means is, as soon as that comes up to a rolling boil and all the jars are in there, we bring it up to a rolling boil, then it can process for 45 minutes. Then I'm going to take the lid off, turn it off, take the lid off, and let it stand for 5 minutes before I remove the jars. And we want the canner to have enough water that it'll cover the jars, the top of the jars. All right, I'm going to keep on keeping on here and load my jars up. So I'll see you when I bring it out of the canner and show you how beautiful it is. All right, so my canner went 40 minutes at a rolling boil, and then I turned the burner off and let it sit. So remember to check your resources for safe canning procedures. We have to follow these because we don't want botulism. And my husband pointed out The reason I put the citric acid or the lemon juice in is because you can't be assured that your tomatoes have enough acidic value. And you can see these still have water at the bottom, but that's all right. It's like a vegetable stock basically. I'm not worried about that. As these cool, you can shake that up and it'll come together. And the tomatoes will kind of sink down in it anyway. Okay, so I'm super excited. I have beautiful tomatoes. 5 quarts is what I got. And you need, if you're worried about the acidic levels for your products, low acid foods like tomatoes need to be on the acid side of the pH scale. You can test your stuff with a pH strip. I believe it needs to be like 4.5. But if you add that citric acid or the bottled lemon juice and never use fresh, you're going to be just fine. So I hope this inspires you to go ahead and take advantage of your bounty out of the garden, can your own tomatoes, and you'll have this for the rest of the year, and you know exactly what's in it. And I didn't add any salt. You can add salt to each of these jars. You could add a teaspoon of salt. I like things on low sodium, and I also don't want to be pigeonholed on how to season my food when I put it together at the time of cooking a meal. So I can add the salt then. So I hope it inspires you to go ahead and try your hand at canning. And if you've got any questions, please refer to some really good resources like the Ball Canning book or Putting Food By. There's tons of books out there, and they're all excellent, and these are approved methods for safe canning procedures. There's only really 2 safe canning procedures out there, and that's water bath canning for high acid foods and pressure canning for low acid foods. So you have to bring the acid up by adding vinegar or acid to it to keep it safe for water bath canning. If it's a low acid food like meats or vegetables that are low acid and you're not going to add that, you must pressure can it. So as always guys, I can't wait to see you next time. I love doing these videos. It's my most requested video is how to can anything, and please show us every time you do it. So I'm happy to do it as often as I can, and know that I can all year round and replace my pantry shelves. And if you guys would like to see how I store my stuff, go ahead. I've gotten some response on that, but go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section. Please share this on your social media, Instagram, wherever you're at. And if you do this, share a picture with us. All right guys, I can't wait to see you next time.